Today's Spector Creative video is brought to you by the koala. Looking for an animal that's so cute you just want to hug it? Try the koala. No part of this video is sponsored by Koala by MeNow.com or Spector Creative or its parent company or the Monsanto Corporation. All complaints should be addressed to Apollo the Sun God. For quite a while now, I've wanted to do a video addressing the love fans want to have from companies. And I wasn't really quite sure the angle. Honestly, it's been on my to-do list for a long time. But I've been getting a lot of comments on the forums, the comments on the comment section. And let me show you an example. And I'm not throwing Zero TO under the bus or anything. It's just a perfect example. He's talking about the Marvel Legends going up in price, and that these will be hard times. Trust me, the toy company CEOs don't care about us. They just want us to spend through the nose, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, again, not picking on Zero TO, ... Sorry, I don't know your full screen name, but this is just a perfect example. Trust me, this company CEOs don't love us. Well, they love you as a customer, and all toy companies, well, especially toy companies, but all companies want to show their customers they appreciate them. But there's a big difference between wanting to make your customers feel loved and actually loving your customers. And I don't mean like, well, obviously there is, they're not going to marry them. No, I'm not talking about that. Let's look at it from a bigger picture, and let's talk from a marketing standpoint. So obviously, marketing campaigns, customer appreciation events have been something companies have done for decades, if not centuries. I'm sure back in ancient Rome you could do that. Nowadays, rewards are in many forms. Starbucks notoriously has their, star reward program. Buy a coffee, buy 100, and you get, a free one or something like that. I don't know how it fully works. I just know I get free coffees sometimes. Anyway, point being is there's lots of ways that companies try to reach out and make customers feel wanted. Things like bring a friend or shoot a friend. Actually, no, shoot a friend is not something you should do. But there's an amazingly popular game that does this. Crazy. Anyway, the idea that a company should also love you and hug you, and I know people are using flowery language and being poetic in this, but from doing this professionally 20 plus years, I can't tell you how often this comes up. People being angry because they don't feel like the CEO of a company or even the brand manager loves them, is caring about their needs and their feelings. So obviously I am very pro hug, but never once working for a company did I feel like that was, why I was there. I was there to obviously connect with customers. It was a big part of my job in quite a few of my positions, was directly, like running, convention shows, talking to collectors. But making them feel loved was not only, obviously not part of my job, but it was never something that I've ever encountered anyone in my professional career who feels that that's what they're doing. Hugs are part of, for your family and for your friends and for trees and things that, you want to love. A company is not your Japanese pillow. It's made up of people who have a goal to provide product for you, and they love you as a customer, and they want you to feel appreciated, of course, but there's a difference between appreciation and love. And profit is really where it comes down to. Every company basically follows the same plan that the underpants gnomes create. Obviously, phase two, what they do in the middle, making toys, making mayonnaise, making hot dogs, making, French fries, whatever. All right, here's where it all comes down to. Let's say you want to start a company, right? Okay, you have to decide, well, what am I going to sell? What am I going to do? Is what I'm even trying to do legal? Well, obviously, once you check in with local law enforcement and know you're full speed ahead, the next thing you have to do is say, wow, how am I going to fund that business? Starting a business is very expensive. Believe me, I've been there. So, most of the time, you're either going to go to the bank or you're going to go to a private investor. Maybe you have a rich uncle. Maybe you go on Shark Tank. Either way, you need to get people to give you money to start your company because you probably aren't sitting on the tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars you may need. So that means when the investor gives you a boatload of cash in order to start your business based on a business plan and having convinced said investor that this is a good investment, well, the investor now owns you, or at least owns part of you. That's what the money is for. They're most likely going to be receiving a portion of the profits. This is what the stock industry is. And I'm not going to do any detailed video about the stock market, but I think we all know what stocks are. They represent investors, and these two gentlemen are enjoying stocks while probably investing in a company. All right, so back to the original post, and again, a representative post of many, not picking on one thing. This is just came up the other day, and I was like, oh, perfect example. I'm finally going to address this. So this need that toy collectors have to feel like the companies are putting not just emotionally like love, but feel they understand their specific needs, the way we want to collect, and this makes us angry. And there's a lot of things that are worth being angry about. There's a lot of parts of our hobby that are very triggering. I'll give you, half a dozen reasons. Packaging showing up at your doorstep all smashed and you're a mint on card collector. Getting an action figure and having its details, the eyes painted all googly. Poor character selection or a brand manager that tries to hijack a toy line. Not being able to find a toy you would buy at retail. Not being able to complete a team with a missing figure that you've been working on for years. Waiting on. Not having an accessory work with a figure correctly, waiting for a figure that will probably just never get made to complete a collection, getting a character you always wanted as a toy, but it's the wrong version. Whew, okay, I think I hit a whole bunch of them, right? That's the top ones. So, yeah, got any more? No. All right. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in the toy collecting process. We're very detail-oriented. But hugs are not part of it. And I get that hugs also mean the people in the company, understanding your needs, when the toy needs to arrive, that it's got a fabric cape, that it's able to stand and not topple over. Of course, this trickles down to the people working on the product from the CEOs. But yes, they try to work on understanding your needs, but there's a big difference between that and making sure you feel loved. Trying to do that's an impossible task. There's too many factors, there's too many people, too many definitions. The CEO isn't going to love you any more than they're going to hit you in the face. They're not looking to have that kind of relationship with you. They're looking to have the relationship where they produce a product or a service that you purchase. Your family and your friends and your Japanese love pillow is there for you to hug. If you need to feel love, there are people in your life. They're not the CEOs of companies. They're not here to love you. And there seems to be this misconception, and maybe I'm reading into things, but I've just seen it so much. And no one is looking at the investor and realizing how important the investor is to the whole process. Any company, whether it's a giant company like Hasbro or Jax or Mattel, Spin Master, or a tiny toy company, all originally need to start with capital, which is fuel that keeps the company going. If the company was a car, the investor money would be the petro that you put inside of the petro tank. So love, family, friends, babies, koalas, check it off, right? We got that? CEOs of companies, if they're trying to figure out the cost of a hug going with the product, it's just never going to cost in. And, well, if that's what you're continually seeking, yes, you should be not getting defective product. Absolutely. Am I on your side there? 9,000%. Unacceptable to get defective product. It should be replaced, fixed, returned. Somehow you should get your money or the item fixed. No question about it. This is a legitimate issue. On the other hand, shooting your friends in the face as part of a national game, probably long-term, don't want to bash any product, but that's dangerous. All right. Getting the product into your hands. That is what it is about. The company produces product. They produce it based on knowing your wants and needs as far as character selection, articulation, etc., and to do their best to deliver what you want. That's how they show you that they love you. If anyone is telling you differently, that a company should show you they love you in any other way, then honestly, that person is selling something. And we all know what that means. Okay, so one more time. Toy companies, there to provide toy product based on knowing your needs of what you want and their best to do it for you. Investors, there to give money to a company in return for getting a share of the profits later on. And then koalas, available for sale now if you need something to hug. Feeling like the toy companies are not there for you? Well, I suggest that you look into getting yourself your very own koala. They'll pretty much just hug you all day long, and they're so darn cute. I hope this video explained this. I'm not attacking anyone or trying to be harsh or even deliver tough love. I'm just trying to explain the situation. And I hope this video helped. Share it if you can. It's a great way to show support for this channel. Thanks for watching. Go get a koala.